Hey everybody, it's Steve with SKY194, and I appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video. And we are here at Monza, and this is the 2024 pros and cons, and we are in the Audi Evo2, and of course this is ACC version 1.10.2. And just a little disclaimer, again, these are just my opinion. Opinions vary, and I'm sure other people would have differing opinions than me, which is fine. But I did try to really put in extra time and at multiple tracks, even more than usual, just because I haven't driven the Audi that much. So I really try to pick some tracks that that I usually haven't been at, or haven't been at in a long time. I actually looked at what, like Donington and things like that, and that brings me up to another point before we get started. I do have 6 tracks. I have Spa, Suzuka, Cota, Donington, Misano, and Monza, of course, here. Setups for all those tracks, and I'll leave a link to those setups in the description, and it'll just be one link. So hopefully that'll work. If y'all don't like that, I can change it. But instead of hitting all these links, I just have one link, and it'll just be for the Audi, and you just click on that, and it'll have those setups for those 6 tracks in there, and then you just got to put them in the correct folder on your PC. That way you're not clicking all the time and trying to find all these setups. So I just figured maybe we'll try that, trying to make it a little easier for you guys. And maybe in the future I can do things like that, and that way everything's just in the one folder. So again, we'll start with the cons. And really, the biggest con is this car wants to kill you, and it's just not driver friendly. I mean, I'll be honest, that's really is the best way. As you can see right there, you get too aggressive, the car will bite you. And here, the tires aren't up to temperature, and I'm probably getting too aggressive with the throttle, and the back end comes out. So again, it's one of those cars that it really takes a lot of practice to master it and to get the most out of it. So again, to extract a lot of the performance capabilities of the car, you really have to practice your technique and driving abilities, and to get all that performance out. The car, I still like it. I enjoy driving the car, but it takes a little extra effort. And what I mean by that is, when you have like a Ferrari or maybe a McLaren that you can get speed out a little bit easier, the Audi is just not that way. It just doesn't react that way. And if you got multiple factors in there, whether it's a short wheelbase, it could be, the way the tuning of the engine is, or things like that. It really is just basically, it will bite you, overreact to certain circumstances, like when I got on the gas too early, or things like that. So again, just one of those things that you have to watch out for. And on top of that, the rear end, it's kind of like, it feels a little nervous at times, and that's, again, makes it feel driver unfriendly. It doesn't give you that confidence that some cars like the Ferrari have that come into mind, or the BMW or things like that. Of course, that's a front engine car, but I mean, even a McLaren. So again, you have, McLaren's definitely, a lot more confidence inspiring than the Audi is. So again, it just takes that more dedication to try to get it out of it, and that's why I don't think I really would recommend it for a new sim racer or someone new to ACC, unless you really have a lot of experience in racing with other sims. Fuel mileage is not that great. Again, it's probably middle pack or middle lower pack. So again, not a strong suit. But, and also on top of that, with the mileage, is some tracks it carries more fuel than other tracks. So you have to watch out. If you have an hour stint, because when you're going to get fuel, and tires or whatever in an hour, you need to make sure that your mileage and all those things match up, because it's close. A couple of tracks that I did, and then I would check the mileage and then see if I could go an hour. It was right down to the liter. So it really makes it tight. So again, it might make you to where, if you're really fast, you got to make an extra stop just to get a splash and go or something. So again, excuse me. So something you definitely need to track, because one time it was 113 liters. Another track I checked was 120. And so I didn't check every track, but it's, if those two are different, then there could be other tracks out there that have different also. So again, something you definitely need to double check. Not the greatest in the rain. Another con. I drove it in the rain, and it's not that it was absolutely horrible, but you just got to turn up the TC a lot to really get the car to be decent. To not want to kill you. So again, and of course, the more TC you got to put up, a lot of times the slower it gets. So again, I didn't try it in heavy rain, but the rain I did try, I really wasn't impressed with the rain performance. Again, the going over bumps, I call that a minor con. Some bumps it's not too bad, but other ones are pretty bad. So again, a lot of it depends on the track, the curb, and just specific situations. So again, I call it a minor con, but something to be aware of. It's sometimes it's almost like it's two different cars, but it's not to that point, but it can be pretty bad at one place and not so bad at somewhere else. So maybe that could be some of it with the setups. It could be something different with, like I say, the curbs and things like that. So it could be a lot of different variables that causes that. Let's go into the pros. So again, the pros, it changes directions really well, and I can contribute that to the short wheelbase, and also it does the tight hairpins really, really well. So like the Suzuka, where you got that tight hairpin there, I mean, it really goes through that. And I know right there, you can gain a half a second or lose a half a second just in that one corner at Suzuka. So again, something to take notice. Headlights, they're really good at nighttime. I did some night driving with it just to double check and just to kind of refresh my memory, but really, really good lights at night. So any night racing, and definitely Audi has that in spades. Let's see. Sound is amazing. I know that's subjective. Now again, you probably can tell I'm reading off notes. This thing's got so much stuff. I don't want to skip stuff. So I literally, when I'm doing this, I'm making notes all the way down. So I got a whole paper here with notes on it. So again, I really try to put a little bit of extra time in this to try to get my opinions and get it right, and multiple tracks, and checking this and checking that. So I really try to do a good job so you all know what the car's like, and especially somebody new or even experienced, something that they can, if they want to try to tackle or not tackle. And on that subject, one thing that's a pro is when you do get it right, it's really rewarding. I mean, when you get the car and you get that corner just right, and the right throttle input and everything else, it's the car rails. I mean, it'll really, take the corner really good. And it's just again, that balance between brake and gas and not being too overly aggressive and all those kinds of things, and letting the car do the work, not trying to be overly aggressive and overdrive it, which I did here a couple times. But again, that's where practice with it really comes in hand, and you really benefit from that. Transmission, I really think the transmission is one of the better transmissions. Now, I mean, I know that sounds kind of silly, but some cars, which we'll get into when I do other cars, aren't the greatest at especially the downshifting part. The Audi's not that way. This thing this thing downshifted perfect every single time. And the only thing I could say is, you don't want to go downshift too fast and hurt the engine. But it actually is really nice to have a transmission that you can be aggressive with on the downshifts, and it just goes every time. So, and you don't have any kind of missed shifts and all that other stuff. So I was really happy with that with the Audi. And again, just like I said with the bumps, a minor pro, because again, it's not bad at some places. So again, you know, just like I said, it was a minor con, it's also a minor pro that it goes over the bumps, you know, decent in some places, and of course not so decent in other places. Now let's go over some tips for driving and setup. You know, again, the better you are with the throttle control, the faster you'll get with the Audi, and it's going to take practice. You know, if you can really feed in the gas but not overdo it, you're really going to get some benefits out of that. So again, you know, with the just in the practice and being smooth and not overdriving the car and things like that makes a big difference. Very little trail braking. The car does not really, you know, care for a lot of trail braking. I mean, certain corners you might want to trail brake a little bit more, but a lot of times, you got to be really careful of it because it'll end up the car will overreact and it'll get you into trouble. So again, just something you want to consider. Obviously, you got to see how tight the turn is, how long the turn is, but just a case-by-case basis. But it's definitely one of those cars where it doesn't need a lot of help to rotate. It'll rotate on its own. And as the car goes, it'll rotate a little more because the rear tires will wear faster than the fronts. And so, as let's say if you have a longer stint, the car is going to get a little bit looser. And so it's not going to need you to trail brake to get the car to rotate. It'll do it on its own. So again, and on that subject, of course, with a lot of mid-engine cars, you know, where you start off on your brake bias as the stint goes, you really should go up. Don't go down, because the car is going to get looser as, like I said, as it goes. So let's say you start off at 55 or 56. You might want, after so many laps, you might want to go up a point. Go up, if you're at 56, go up to 57 or whatever. And it'll help calm the rear end of the car down. You're not going to, the braking performance, you're not going to lose any measurable braking performance, okay? And you say, well, how is that? I say that because you're still getting all your brakes. It's just the division between the front and the rear. And on top of that, as you're going, the fuel's getting lighter, okay? So that you have less weight as you go. So you're still should be able to still brake at the same place. It's just how the car stops, okay? And it will be the same. I promise you. I mean, it'll be so little bit. If there is difference, it would be so minor, it wouldn't really make any difference anyway. Also, TC3 was about my favorite spot where I set, and that was my fastest lap at a 147.77, I think it was. But I left the TC at 3 on most of the tracks that I went to. Now, you can go to 2, but I call it like beast mode, because when you do that, the car gets even more aggressive. And again, you can gain some performance, but it's going to basically tear the rear tires up and also have more of a chance at having a problem, like, losing the car or losing time because the car is jumping sideways or whatever. So again, something that you can practice with, and also maybe something you can use for qualifying. But I mean, really, TC3 to me is really solid. And again, one of those circumstances where maybe at a slick track like Suzuka or like Hungaroring or Laguna Seca, you might want to even consider going up one click on the TC as you're going through a stint, depending upon how long it is, just again to help you keep your pace up. And to where, you will be falling off, but you're going to fall off anyway, but it'll keep it to a minimum, and you can save your tires to make it to the end of the race. Again, this is one of those things I would recommend and maybe consider and try. And sometimes you got to adjust your driving, the way you drive, a little bit different, but it really is makes a big difference. Now, I did check the LFM BOP, and I checked all the tracks that I got the setups for Spa, Suzuka, Cota, Donington, Misano, and Monza, and basically they go from +2 to +12. So I didn't check every track. Those are just the 6 that I checked. So there might be some other ones in there that are that are minuses, but from what I've seen, all of them are ads. So again, if you're in a league with an LFM BOP, it's something you might want to consider, because you're pretty much going to be getting added weight every track you go to. And of course, if you're in a league in ACC, in just standard BOP for ACC, you might have a little bit of an advantage, because all the weight in LFM BOP is added, so it's kind of gives you maybe a teeny bit advantage there with the weight. So again, something that you have to weigh your options with that, but I think it's something to consider. Again, it's a really good car to drive. I still really enjoy driving it. And that's why, I didn't mind going to a lot of these tracks and doing a little bit extra as far as, and I figured I might as well make setups while I'm at these different tracks. So I got setups, and again, they're just, they're really more type race setups. But I was happy with the pace at all the tracks. I wasn't disappointed with the pace or anything. Now, I did try some other tracks also, like I was at Mount Panorama. I didn't do a setup for that. It was a little bit off the pace there, but I know it would find it. It actually had great speed at Mount Panorama. And actually, the speed at Mount Panorama was better than the Mustang that I just won a race there a week ago. So again, it had 1 more mile an hour than the Mustang. So it's got speed, and that's with max wing. So again, this car's got speed. It's got speed here at Monza. It was really good at speed, and it has good speed at Mount Panorama. So again, a definitely strong trait. Of course, that's why it probably gets bad mileage. But again, I sure hope you enjoyed this video on the pros and cons, and I hope you check out the next one that'll be coming. Again, please give me a like and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And as I try to really spend some extra time that I have trying to get an accurate pros and cons of the car, of the goods and bads, and also, for people out there that want to try it, and also, whether you've been driving a lot or maybe you just started, either way. But I hope you get something out of it. And again, any comments would be appreciated. I thank you very much. And again, the setup link will be in the description. And I hope you come back and join me again. Y'all take care.